Mustang Sally, you better slow your Mustang down.
Wizard, you better not be hanging out with Mustang Sally.
No, I'm not. No, Mrs. Wizard, I'm not doing that. It is a cool song, and this is a Mustang. This is a 1998 Mustang base model. Loud Las Cruces. You guys heard it for yourself. We came to a completely different state. We cannot escape the loud exhaust. So this is a 98 Ford Mustang. It's just a V6 base model. It has been in an accident, and it has been repainted. It's in fairly good condition, but it's got a few issues, and I love these. I love the SN95, but my favorite is the iteration after this, which is the New Edge Mustang, which is 99, 2000, 01, 02, 03, 04, which I want one of those, Mrs. Wizard.
Well, we had the one after that you actually ended up giving to me because it was a stick shift.
Right, it was an S197, which is 2006, and it was fun, but I really want a New Edge. To me, my personal opinion is the best looking Mustang ever made. And you can fight me in the comments. This one has some engine vibration going on. He has put new motor mounts, transmission mounts, and a few other things. He has some issues with possibly a vacuum leak. He wants that checked out. The power steering pump is possibly leaking, which it ended up being that. And a few other issues. We're going to show you what we found, but let's take a look around this 98 Mustang. So here we are in the front of this Mustang, and I believe, Mrs. Wizard, that would be like candy apple red.
Oh yeah, this is a beautiful color.
It really is a nice color. It looks like the headlights and the turn signal housings have been replaced. And like I mentioned, you can tell it's been repainted. It looks too nice to be a 98. And it has the old 3-spoke wheels from that era, which are really cool. I like those as well. As we go down this side, you can see that it looks pretty straight. I do think that the collision that it had was just in the front end. The rest of it's pretty straight, pretty nice. Whoever painted it actually did a pretty good job. I commend them for that. Let's go ahead and hop under the hood. No, this is not a 4.6 V8. It is a 3.8 V6. It is a 3800, but not the 3800 we're thinking of. But it is fairly reliable. These are actually really good engines as well. They're not tons of power, but they're reliable. They're good enough if you just want to cruise around in a Mustang. You don't care about quarter-mile times or 0 to 60 times. I would definitely recommend this engine in any car, a Thunderbird or Mustang or whatever vehicle this would come in. They even came in some of the trucks. Again, they're not super powerful, but you can see you can reach around everywhere. This is not an overhead cam engine. It's just a push rod engine. So they're compact, lots of room to get to all the parts. And if you notice, the power steering pump is missing as well as the intake duct. We're going to show you why here in a minute. But before we dive into what we found wrong with this car, this is what we're going to show you guys the interior of this SN95.
Yes, you are reading that correct. This has 242,517 miles. Whoa, quite a few miles on here, but it does have some age, so you know, they do add up over those years. Simple gauge cluster because it's a 98. We've just got very analog design there. So okay, looking good. Get our hand up there. Okay, got a little bit of a sun blister here. Happens with the age, especially here in the desert. But everything else is looking good. Like that we have the Mustang SRS there imprinted in above our glove box. We have simple controls here in our center section. Stock radio. It is an automatic. Couple cup holders, got a nice little coin slot there. This is, well, no longer attached, and well, there's a little bit of grime in there, you guys. There you go, I'm sorry. There's a little bit of grime in there, but again, soapy water will do a wonder for that. Looks like the cup holder pad is sitting there on the seat, but the seat is pretty comfortable. Not leather or anything, but you do sink into it, so it doesn't have bolster, but you get the bolster when you sit down. Everything in here, if you've not noticed, is very dark charcoal, and that door card is no exception. The back seat, yeah, well, okay, it is a back seat, and if you're not very tall, you can fit back here, but most of the time, it's a not very comfortable, you know, family car. This does have pull-down seats. This does have a 50-50 split that you can lay it down into the trunk and actually haul some things. Okay, that's an interesting addition. Headliner, charcoal as well, looking good. And here we are back at that steering wheel. We can see they have a steering wheel cover on it. It does say Ford on there, and it's maybe because it's a little blistered, my guess. But one thing that is odd is sitting here straight, this side is closer than that side. Yes, this is at a little bit of an angle. It's maybe hard to see on film, but I guess if you're leaning to the door, okay, that might work. But that's just how they designed the steering column. It is at an angle. Odd. Nonetheless, let's get this up in the air. Wizard says there's some things we need to see on the underneath.
So you can see it has an aftermarket radiator. We do see that the little mount is bent here, and also we can see where the front end collision was, and they kind of reattached it to the frame horn there. And I can see that the frame is a little bit tweaked, being that the body is the frame. That can cause some issues as well with vibrations. Is it dangerous? No, it's probably not dangerous, but it currently looks pretty nice and it drives straight and true, so it is what it is. We're not here to do body shops. We're not going to do any of that work, but I don't see any leaks from the radiator. I don't see anything coming from the front of the engine other than right in here where the power steering pump was leaking that I mentioned earlier. You can see that it was leaking all over this boot. We currently have it removed. This wetness here we see on the transmission, that was there from the power steering pump. It was just blowing it back. It was leaking pretty heavily, actually. You see our stock cats, everything's intact. Check out these wheels. Brakes are about 40 to 50% remaining. The strut is not blown. Nothing's loose there. And our sway bar link is intact. Same thing on the brakes there, about 50%. Strut is not blown. They look fairly new. There's some KYB XLGs. Sway bar link is intact. Nothing loose there. Now, as Mrs. Wizard said in the interior review, it has over 200,000 miles. Unless it has documented service history with paperwork showing the transmission's been serviced, we would not be interested in servicing that transmission. Actually saw someone commented and say that was a bunch of garbage. I have seen multiple transmissions fail right after a service. It was my mentor where I used to work. He showed me a few times, and that's all I needed to see. I knew at that point I won't be going down that road with customers. I'm not interested. I did mention that the customer's been chasing this vibration. He put new motor mounts and new transmission mounts. Let's take a look at those motor mounts. So you can see a brand new motor mount on that side. A brand new one in the front of the starter right there. We can see a brand new transmission mount as well. Now, if it was a Mercedes, that may have solved the vibration by now, because it is very common on those that need motor mounts. It's not common on American cars so much. We do see our transmission is not leaking at the tail shaft. U-joints are good, nothing loose there. I do see a lot of very poor attempts of it being lifted with a lift. Looks like maybe hydraulic jacks, floor jacks, or something of that nature. It's the same on the other side, where the pinch wheel is actually starting to peel apart. So I instructed my guys to lift it from the frame horns that are part of the unibody. Be a lot stronger, and I'm just not trusting that pinch weld right now. It could literally fold in half. As we move back, we have stock exhaust, no Borlas, no cutoff exhaust like it is in Newton. So our differential appears to be in good shape. It's not leaking from the pinion seal or from the differential cover. It looks like someone's been in there before. I can see all the silicone. So it's probably been serviced at some point. Check out these wheels. The pads are about 40 to 50%. Shocks are not blown. Nothing loose. Same thing over here. It has 40 to 50% on the brakes. The shock is not blown. And I don't see any other issues going on in the back. So if you have an SN95 or the New Edge Mustang, there is a common fuel leak that you could have on all of those. And it is extremely common, especially as they get age and miles on them. And that's the fuel tank neck grommet right here. You see this little piece here? It's right behind it. There's a rubber grommet. It looks like it's been replaced at some point. That can deteriorate over time, and when you fill up with gas, it'll just pour gas all the way down. And yes, we'll be tightening up this little metal piece. It's just kind of dangling there, but very common issue on these. So it's got motor mounts, it's got a whole bunch of work that's been done to it, and in drive, where you're just sitting at a stoplight, you can just hear the engine in the cabin, and the customer's concerned, like, what is that? One thing we did notice is that We have it removed at this time, but the exhaust mount here was torn in half. That's definitely something that can do it, as exhaust flexes and rests on different things. But another issue we'll talk about as soon as we get this thing on the ground. One thing I'm concerned about is, being that it's in a collision, or had been in a collision, that the frame horns could be tweaked just a little bit, and it puts undue tension or torsion on the drive line, on the mounts where they should be just resting evenly. Now they're like this, and it can start to transmit undue vibration to one side or the other. It's possible that is the issue, but we did find some things that could contribute to this engine running a little rough. Let me get my part full of carts.
Part full of carts? Really? I think the heat's getting to your brain there, Wizard.
It is, cart full of parts. Sorry, I keep doing that, guys. It is pretty hot in here. We have to turn off the fans, the cooling fans. Otherwise, when we're filming, all you will hear is and I'm sure you don't want to hear that. So let me get the cart full of parts. So here's our cart full of parts. One thing, Ronnie Tron was looking at this, and he pulled the PCV valve out, and you can see it doesn't seat well in there. And you should be able to have airflow in one direction, but not the other. Let's test that. So I'm going to pull air through it, but I should not be able to push air through it. So here's pulling. Now I'm going to push air through it. It just flows freely in either direction. That's not good. That could create kind of an undue vacuum leak, and it's like it's broken inside of there. They're supposed to rattle a little bit, but this thing is just flopping all over the place. This PCV valve is bad. That could make it run a little rough. Here's that exhaust mount I was talking about. It was torn basically in half, and the exhaust is hanging, putting tension on the entire exhaust system. That also can contribute to some vibrations transmitted through the body. Another thing I'm concerned about, it had a garbage K&N filter. You guys know I absolutely hate these. There is a time to use these when you have extreme supercharging or turbocharging going on. When you're getting 9-second quarter miles, I mean, you're pulling tons of air. But on a stock V6, absolute waste of time. And let me show you why these are so bad. They can be a good air filter if they're serviced. This one's dry as a bone, and I can just shine light through it. There's holes all through the pleats, little tiny holes. Now I know what you're saying. Well, yeah, it's still filtering, Wizard. It's doing its job. No, it's not. Let me show you.
Oh, wow, look at all that dust.
Yeah, but he got another 5 horsepower. That's all that matters. That's it. That's all that matters. An extra tenth in the quarter. Guys, come on. It's a V6. It's not going to race anybody. Let me show you something. Is that air filter really working? Is it really? No. Same thing on the other side as well. It's just coated with dirt. Very fine, like baby powder dirt inside of there. So, here's what we're going to do, and we already discussed this with the customer. He's very happy to do this. This is our K&N filter. Straight in the trash can. Garbage. We are not an advocate of K&N filters at all here at Omega Auto Clinic. It's getting a paper OEM filter. We're going to clean out that duct, make sure his intake is clean. It can damage your car when it gets fine silt filtered straight through the engine, into the valves, into the sides of the cylinder walls. It can cause damage. I don't think we've damaged the engine here with a K&N air filter, but we're definitely not going to chance it. Now let's take a look at that power steering pump. So this one was leaking out of the shaft and kind of pouring down through here. It's also leaking where the body meets the plastic here. The crazy thing is, and let me go get Ariel and talk about the fun of removing these. So Ariel, you've worked in a dealership on a lot of 2021, 22, 23, 24 cars. That was pretty much your specialty.
Yes.
Now we have a 1998 here, and you looked at this pulley and you were like, what the hell?
Yes. I'm learning that the 90s cars like their accessories. They like their brackets on top of brackets.
Brackets on top of brackets on top of more brackets with more bolts and more bolts. This is older technology. This is the older way they did things. I did have to get my puller and show him. He was thinking like on newer cars, you go unbolt the pulley and then you can get to all the bolts. You actually have to get a special puller tool out. Pull this off, then you can get to these 3 bolts. And at the end, you were kind of like, that was unnecessary, huh?
Very unnecessary.
But that's the way they did it for so many years. So one thing that's really cool about working here, you're going to learn so much. We're going to work on 90s cars, 2000s cars, 2010s, 2020s, and you're going to be absorbing all that knowledge. So
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to it.
very good. I'll let you head back to break, but no longer a new story for you, is it?
No, now I can do the next one with ease.
All right, cool. So there's a lot of little things we're doing to this car. Nothing major, no major teardowns or anything like that. We're going to hopefully take care of that vibration they're feeling in the cabin while it's in drive at a red light, and also take care of that pesky power steering leak and get the rest of the things on this car up to snuff. Is this a showroom car? Obviously not. We saw that it's been in a collision, it's been repaired, it's been repainted. It's probably just a really cool cruiser car. They enjoy driving a Mustang. They like the Mustangs, and I totally get it. I love these cars as well. So this would look really good at a car show. The paint looks very nice. You can see it in line with a bunch of other cars and say, wow, that looks really sweet, looks really nice. You got to keep in mind, a lot of those cars could have similar situations. They've been in a collision, they've had this happen, they've repaired it. It is what it is. This is their car. They enjoy it. It's cheaper than going to buy a whole other car. And they really, I commend them. The paint job looks really nice on this. I've seen some cars that have been repainted and they look terrible. It's like the peel of an orange peel everywhere. This one's smooth. They did a very good job on it. So it's a really sweet car. I'm glad that they brought it in. When Audio brought it in and put it on the lift, I was like, yes, an SN95 Mustang. I really enjoy these cars. And if you watched Mrs. Wizard's interior review, she kind of looked at the steering wheel. You probably noticed it's kind of cocked to the left a little bit. They're all that way. That's not from the collision. That's not anything to do with that. It's kind of the way that it lines up. They got everything to line up with the powertrain and everything. It is normal for the steering wheel. It's just a little bit cocked to the left on these. At first, when I first drove one of these, I was like, what the heck's wrong with the steering wheel? I feel like it kind of bothered me for a while, but I've accepted it. It is what it is on these. So if you're curious what kind of tools we're going to use to continue to fix this old 98 Mustang, check our Amazon affiliates link in the description below. All the tools we use every day, tried and true, are listed for sale there. And if you purchase any of them, we get a small cut and really appreciate it. And again, the schedule is full. Moises is knocking out of the park. We got cars coming in like crazy, which means tons more videos for you guys. Make sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell before you leave. Thanks for watching.